ladies and gentlemen, I am Bad Bubba Brewer, and you are here listening to the Triple B Black and Gold Dynasty review show of the Steelers' huge victory Sunday afternoon against the Atlanta Falcons in Georgia. But let me get with my Facebook thing here so we can get all the people's comments, quotes, and questions that they're going to have, because it takes a millisecond here in the world of technology. But honestly, the Steelers won 19-16 in Atlanta over the Atlanta Falcons, and they got a 2-game winning streak, which is the first of the year that they put back-to-back victories. We didn't think it was coming. We don't know what's going on. Do the Steelers run the rest of the table? Do we know what's going on? All I know is we are now 5-7. That's what I know. Hey, Scotty DeGastro. Thanks, Travis. Joshua, thanks for tuning in to the Triple B Black and Gold Dynasty. I'm your host, Bad Bubba Brewer, on the Triple B Experience podcast show. It's one of our many shows that we do, but this show here is where we talk Pittsburgh Steeler football, because it's my love for the black and gold. Now, I want us to say this, that the Steelers are 5-7, and they are tied with the putrid Cleveland Browns. JC Day, thanks for tuning in. Josh, I gotta love watching Kenny Pickett progress. A little nervous, and with the Pickens tantrum. Yeah, we're going to talk about that a little bit later. Hey, Steel, thanks for tuning in. I want to see your take, Steel, on that lovely receiver drama that happened in Atlanta. I want to see your take, Steel, because I'm sure it's probably going to be just like mine. Like I said, the Steelers are tied with the Browns, 5-7, tied for last place in the AFC North. Now, the Ravens and Bengals are tied for first. Both are 8-4. Shane Stodmiller, special field correspondent. Shane, how you doing tonight? Benjamin, thanks for tuning in to the Triple B Black and Gold Dynasty. Benjamin, already sitting and already. Steelers are going to beat Baltimore. Eric Steele says the receivers are divas, and I totally agree with him. They've been like that for many, many years. It seems like we can't get away from the fucking Steelers diva mystique. We'll talk about that later. I just wanted to say that the Steelers have named Cam Hayward their Walter Payton Man of the Year. They're nominating Cam for the Walter Payton Man of the Year. And speaking about Cam Hayward, his brother, Scotty DeGastro, you're going to see it, heard it running game, Camera Live. His brother and himself had a great game, because before they started playing, they went to their dad's gravesite, and everybody that knows who's a Pitt fan remembers Ironhead Hayward. And Ironhead was a massive back for Pitt. He was a fucking bruiser, and he was a great running back into college and when he played for the Atlanta Falcons. But those two, Connor and Cam, went to visit their dad's gravesite, and it must have showed, and they got inspired during this game against Atlanta. So, I mean, Cam had a sack. Connor had his first touchdown ever against his dad's team. So that's huge. That's huge. We're going to go back to the Facebook Live. Benjamin, Steelers are going to win against Baltimore 42-17. I think you're smoking a little wacky weed, Benjamin, but God bless you. And you do have medical marijuana. Thank you. I knew it. Well, you're going to have to tune in Friday, because that's when the Ravens Steelers preview is going to be. And that's going to be Friday night at 8 o'clock. I'm trying to get these shows on at 8 o'clock Wednesday and Friday. I don't want to compete against Steelers Realm, my boys on Steelers Realm, because they do. Hey, Rob Wallback, how you doing? If you need insurance, get to Rob Wallback in Homer City, Pennsylvania. Need to see more of Hayward. Which one, Cam or Connor? Connor's just going to be in the set formations, Scott, because we have Gentry and we have Pat Freiermuth. So it depends on the formations that they're running. They could go three. They could run tight, double tight ends. They could run everything. But that's we have to worry about the lovely offensive coordinating of Matt Canada. Connor, okay. Travis, we did a good thing on driving the ball on Saturday. The offense was pretty good. I just want them to keep up. The passing to different people. Keep mixing it up, and we got to score touchdowns, not field goals. See more when we get in the red zone. Absolutely agreed. And especially like Steele said, and the Watts brothers. Scott said, well, when Steele said something about the divas, let's get into that because I'm going to jump ahead a little bit. I'm going to be bebopping around because people are coming up with some questions. I believe that they had a lot of, I think Pickett had a lot of passes and a lot of receptions got away from him by the receivers, and it could have boasted his quarterback rating, and he could have got over 200 and some yards. So, I mean, a lot of passes are not being caught, especially by number 18, Dante Johnson. And that is really, really bad. Scotty DeGastro says he sucks running the offense this Sunday, especially in the second half, Scott. I'll give him credit for the first half, but that's all scripted plays. Like every game is scripted the first 20 plays, and it's scripted in the second half too. Steelers are not a second half team. Right now, they're a first half team, but we also, being on the road, like Travis said, you have to score touchdowns. And touchdowns, if we had 2 touchdowns, another touchdown, we'd have been way ahead of Atlanta. So I mean, that's just, and with the Falcons win, the Steelers became the first team with 500 wins since the 1977 NFL AFL merger. So the Steelers are number 1 at 500 wins. Steele says, still waiting for the deep ball off of the play action. Do you think, Steele, it's because they don't want him to throw the deep ball because we haven't had turnovers in 4 games now? I believe that's a big part of it. They won't let him go long. Yes, we are home this weekend against the Ravens. So, I mean, the stats of the Steelers was Kenny Pickett was 16 for 28, 197 yards. He's not breaking the 200 yards yet, but I think if a couple of receivers would have caught some passes, he would have been over. He had no interceptions, no turnovers. He had 1 touchdown, the 17 yards pass to Connor Hayward, which was his first touchdown. Scotty agrees, let it fly. I don't know if they're going to let it fly, guys, because they're going to run the ball. The Steelers are averaging over 100 and some yards running the ball lately. The offensive line is actually like producing some blocks. Shane says, you were right about Najee not being 100% the last few weeks. It was proof Sunday. He was 100% stud. A lot of people, Shane, has been bashing Najee. I'm not one of them because I like Najee Harris. And hopefully he can. I just want to see him get 1,000 yards. Steele says they're being too conservative. He was banging out deep balls last year at Pitt. I know he was, Steele. And hey, Kelly Brewer, thanks for tuning in. Dixie Carter, thank you for tuning in to the Black and Gold Dynasty show. I hope you're a Steeler fan. And I know when you used to run, Impact Wrestling and all, but this is the Black and Gold. I'm sure you're a Tennessee. I think you're a Tennessee Titan fan. But I appreciate you for tuning in to the Triple B Black and Gold Dynasty show, Dixie. Thank you very much. Everybody give it up for Dixie Carter. She was great. Dixie, you were great running Impact Wrestling, and I appreciate you tuning in to the Triple B Black and Gold show. But I know you're a Titans fan, but you want to get a little black and gold, Dixie. We're going to talk Kenny Pickett. That's what we're talking about right now. Kenny Pickett is going to pass for 200 yards, Benjamin says. Hopefully he passes for a little bit more than 200 against the Ravens come Sunday, Benjamin. Steele says they changed his running style, hitting the hole, stop dancing in the backfield, which was very huge, Steele. And he's not hurling anybody. He's bulldozing over people. I know that was a highlight on Monday night. He got 80. Speaking of Najee Harris, he had 17 attempts, 86 yards he had. 86 tough yards. I liked it. I like this run by committee. Scotty DeGastro, you got to keep the thread of the long opens offense with the running game. Love Kenny. Kenny's progressing, Scotty, every game. He's not making – the only thing that I see wrong with Kenny Pickett right now is a little bit of his accuracy when he's throwing real short. I think he threw that one to Steven Sims that he had to come in out of bounds again, and he was the first man. That pass, it was a great pass that he caught. And then I think he bounced one to Pat Freiermuth. I think a couple those are a couple of plays that I remember correctly. And speaking of tight end Pat Fryermuth was targeted 5 times, 3 receptions, 76 yards, and he had a huge 57-yard catch and run. And he was balling, ladies and gentlemen. Pat Fryermuth was just doing some stuff like he looked like Travis Kelce. And hopefully they like right now, Pat Fryermuth is, I believe, our number one receiver on the Steelers. No matter if it's Dante Johnson or George Pickens. And Dante had he was targeted 11 times because I think he's doing this a little bit. And then Kenny wants to give him the ball because he's probably, hey, throw me the ball. So he was targeted 11 times with 5 receptions and 60 yards and still no touchdowns. This guy was a Pro Bowler last year, has no touchdowns since January against the Cleveland Browns. Not good. Not worth $36 million. Scotty says he loves Pat and Pickens. I love Pat and Pickens, but let's go to this big Pickens controversy right now. Pickens was targeted 2 times, guys. 2 times. He had 1 reception for 2 yards, and he was bitching, throw me the goddamn ball. I believe, from what I read on other Steelers sites and people that were actually at the game, Pickens was open probably 90% of the time. And Kenny couldn't get him the ball. But the thing about Kenny, no sacks. The offensive line did not let any sacks go. So that is a huge thing for our offensive line. I know Dan Moore had a holding penalty, or he always gets a holding penalty or downfield. Dan Moore is good for at least 1 or 2 a game, which he needs to get more set in his ways so he can stop those drives. So we're stopping ourselves with more with him getting all these penalties. But the thing is, though, Mike Tomlin said it's not a big deal with the display of Pickens on the sidelines, getting a little bit antsy because he's not getting the ball to him. But let me tell you something, George Pickens. I know you don't. I mean, I hope you watch the Triple B Black and Gold Dynasty show. Dan Moore is a backup. You're right, Steele. And hopefully they get they either draft a no tackle or a defensive lineman. One or the other. I'll be happy with that. Dan Moore could be the backup because he's better on run blocking, no Steele, than he is pass blocking. But he did have a good game against Myles Garrett last year. Scotty DeGasser, that's probably they would have that's why we have controversy in the locker room. Yeah. Well, that's because Tomlin don't want to say too much. And it's like, hey, look, I understand that, but also too, you've only been playing 2.5 months in the NFL. Pickens, I understand you probably had 50 tickets for your family and friends in Atlanta because you're a former Bulldog. I totally understand that. You didn't get what you were, wanted to get. I honestly thought he was going to have a big game. I thought they were going to light him up passing, but the Steelers offense is now running the ball. How does 300 yards passing for Pickett this Sunday? Well, that'd be great, Benjamin, but they're going against the Ravens. So that's going to be hard because any divisional game with the Ravens is very, very tough. I love your tenacity and I love your optimism, but 300 yards, Kenny Pickett against the Ravens will be awful. I have a better chance of seeing Jesus and hitting the Powerball. I would like to have Kenny Pickett have 225 yards, no turnovers, 2 touchdowns. I'll take 1 or 2 touchdowns. I'll definitely take Najee running a touchdown. I'll take 14 points. Give me 14 points. Give me 14 points, scoring. Give me 2 touchdowns against the Ravens and get some field goals. Hey, Boothie, thanks for tuning in to the Triple B Black and Gold Dynasty, where we are reviewing the Atlanta Falcons victory. And we're talking about what's your thing about Mr. Pickens and his attitude, his divaism, Booth, because he's turning into a diva, I think already. Maybe I don't know. Guys blow up on the sidelines all the time. He just got on camera. Tomlin blew up in the tunnel. Yeah, I heard that. I think he told that dude what did he tell that dude? Shut the fuck up or get the fuck out or that's just like he did that thing where they had the Facebook Live in Kansas City locker room still. And he goes, we're going to go up to New England and kick their fucking ass. And boy, we got our asses kicked. If that wasn't bulletin board material, I don't know what was. Remember that? That was the start of AB's tirade, controversy, and downfall right there and then. Boothie says Pickens, a.k.a. AB. I don't know if he's going to be AB status, Booth. I'm fucking working. Well, God bless you, Steele. The Gastro, they better watch this Sunday because the running game could get zero when we have our back on Tomlin and Canada. Well, I hope they get more than zero. Benjamin, the Steelers are going to be in the playoffs this year. They have to win everything outright, Benjamin. They can't lose another game the rest of the season because the costly games that they lost against the Jets, the Patriots, and Miami, that's 3 AFC teams. Oh, is that what Tomlin said? Oh, I'm sorry. Did he say I'm fucking working? Or he just said I'm working? I think he swore at him. Yeah, I'm fucking working. Yeah, okay. Well, that's the first time he actually said that he's actually fucking working because if he was going into half, he just didn't do any adjustments. So I don't know if he was working because they come out flat again in the second half, another game that they come out flat. It's god awful. But you know who didn't come out flat was the Atlanta Falcons. Let's get to some Atlanta Falcons stats. Marcus Mariota, I don't know why the hell he was throwing the ball in the first half was beyond me. I think that Coach Smith was a dumbass, but I'll take a win. He was 13 for 24, 167 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. That interception was from Minka Fitzpatrick. They could have ran it in. It cost the bookies. He ran it out because he probably didn't want to play any more defense and just down the ball. Because like I said, the Steelers' run defense held the Falcons to 146 yards, but most of the yards was in the second half. Like I said, Cam Hayward had a sack. But also, too, before I forget, before I go to the Atlanta Falcons, I already did a little bit. Kenny Pickett is 4 for 4 in 8 starts now since he took over. He's 500. He's 500. At least the special teams didn't kill us. That punt that Percy Harvin III had with 42 seconds that pinned him on the Falcons 2-yard line was a great play. I think he only punted maybe 2 or 3 times. It wasn't often. Shane says AB brains were scrambled by Perfect. He was so different behavior-wise after that. Just look at the off-field crap and the on-field performance before and after that. I believe that. I believe Perfect fucked him up. Totally messed him up, and he hasn't been right since. Now he's got like the Florida cops after him. Well, hey, bye-bye. Hey, good luck to AB. I don't know. It just you're everything diminished on you. And like I said, our kicker, Matt Wright, made 4 field goals, 46, 2 46 ones, a 48 and a 33. Barely making a couple of those in, and they scared the shit out of me. Hopefully Boswell comes back here pretty soon from his groin injury. I hope. But like I said, let's get back to Steele says guys came out and said AB was like that once he got paid. AB has always been that way, Steele says. Scotty DeGastro, coaching needs to be changed. Whoever drafts for this garbage line couch and linebacker coach. Well, the linebacker coach is probably going to be our defensive coordinator, Scott. He is a good coach. Brian Flores is a good coach. Nobody's going to take him this year because he's going against the lawsuit against Miami. They need to get Terrell Austin out and put Brian Flores as the defensive coordinator, and they could get a linebackers coach. I mean, Jesus God Almighty, Primetime just got to be the Colorado head coach. So, and that was 1 year of college coaching. So there's coaching out there. People will want to do it. Benjamin says Kenny Pickett is awesome. Yes, he is. But like I said, running back Patterson had 11 attempts for 60 yards, and most of those yards came in the second half. Receiver Drake London had 6 receptions, 95 yards. Like I said, the Steelers offensive line held the Falcons defense to no sacks, no INTs, and no turnovers. But the Falcons offense had a total of 306 yards, and they did most of that in the second half. Boswell is back. Okay. Bush has looked better under his coaching. Okay. Tomlin needs not to say anything on defense, Scotty says. Steele says Bush has looked better under his coaching. Yes, he has. But I don't know. You think they'll still pay the money? I don't know. They might. They might pay him and Terrell Edmonds in the offseason. Since we have $2 million people on defense. So, and then, like I said, the second half misery, we cannot do a lot in the second half. I don't know what they do in the second half, but I remember first part of the season we couldn't do anything in the first half. Now we score in the first half, and now we still can't do nothing in the second half, which has probably much went the whole time this year. No, still average. Well, yeah. Hayward looks good. Well, which Cam? Yeah, I mean he had a sack, Booth, but like I said, our defensive line is in mid-30s. That'd be like all of us playing defensive line. And I know I can't do it, but we did get DeLille back, the rookie. We got him back, so he's coming back, and we put Witherspoon on IR. And they cut Master Teague again, which I don't know why. I like that Master Teague. I liked him. But I think we probably got a lot of running backs because McFarland didn't even play this week. Baltimore has a better defense. Watch out. Tomlin is our second half. Our second half problem. Yeah, I know. Second half. And I don't even know much about the Ravens because I hate the fucking Ravens anyway, Scotty. And that'll be Friday's show because it's, once this show's done, it's all about hating the Ravens. And actually, if we beat the Ravens, I don't know. We got to win outright. But that Christmas Eve game against the Raiders is going to be something. Steelers defense is better. Benjamin, I think they're okay. I think they're not super. TJ Watt is not 100%. Benjamin, he's got a rib injury and he's not 100%. But I hate Baltimore too, Booth. But the thing is, though, him being out on the field is a difference. When TJ Watt, no matter if he's 100% healthy or if he's 80% healthy, he's still out on the field, and he's a difference. And the Steelers, I don't know what they do when he's playing. They do something. If he wasn't playing, they can't do shit. So that's the craziness of the whole situation. We're the Raider game. Steele says the Baltimore defense isn't what it used to be. Yeah, I don't know what the Baltimore defense is, but I know they were scoring a lot of points. And the biggest thing is Lamar Jackson is not 100%. So that's always I don't think he wants to face the Steelers anyway because he always gets his ass beat or he throws an INT for a touchdown or whatever. I just think the Steelers have Lamar Jackson's number, and now he's got a knee sprain that he's out 3 weeks supposedly. And I'll know more Friday when I do an injury report because I try to keep my T's crossed and my I's dotted here when I do this lovely Triple B Black and Gold Dynasty show. But also, too, we went outright. We have to see where it's going to be. He isn't playing, Steele says. Okay, well, Steele with the hot news. He ain't playing. Hi, Mom. How you doing? Thanks for tuning in to the Triple B Black and Gold Dynasty. Hopefully you give your Steeler picks, Mom. Jackson gave up last week. Well, Jackson gave up because he's not getting that contract. And he probably won't play another game maybe for Baltimore until he gets paid. He could probably do that. Didn't know about Lamar. Yeah, he got hurt against the Denver game, and they beat Denver by 1 point. And it was Huntley who was their quarterback. So I'll know more Friday when I do a preview of the Ravens against the Steelers, and that's at home at 1:00 on CBS. So let's get to the Triple B player of the game. Maybe you guys will throw your names out there, but I'll give you a couple that I thought were good. Definitely quarterback Kenny Pickett. Running back Najee Harris. Tight end Pat Freiermuth. Tight end Connor Hayward with his first touchdown ever in Atlanta, in his hometown. Just going over to see his dad's grave and had that inspiration from Ironhead to get a touchdown. Matt Wright with 4 field goals. They were shaky at best, but they were 4 field goals. Steele says, DeGastro says, Watt. Steele says, right. Kenny says, Kenny. Benjamin says, Kenny Pickett. Boothie says, Pickett. Safety Minka Fitzpatrick had 5 tackles and an INT to seal the game, to take it down where they had the Kenny Pickett victory formation. And also, too, Kelly Brewer. Offensively, it's Pat Fryermuth, and defensively, it's Watt, Kelly says. Well, okay, Kel, I'll take your football knowledge. You know a little bit of football. But I'm going to say, because I can only pick one player. I do like the offense, the punter, but Minka takes it. You're taking Fitzpatrick, Shane. Shane's taking Fitzpatrick. I'm going to take, I would like to take a unit. I would like to take the offensive line for the 154 yards rushing, but I can only take one person. And I am going to take the guy who was running the ball, and he was running hard. Now, Pat Fryermuth had that big play. I'm going to go with Najee Harris. Najee Harris is my triple B player of the game for running hard and for getting 86 yards and taking a lot of time off the clock, because I tell you what, the first half was real quick because I was at work and I'm like, holy shit, man, this is really quick and I kind of like it. So if they're going to run the ball, by the time I get out of here, the game will be over, because I'm like 3-85 when I watch Steeler games at work. It's terrible, I know. But that's who I'm taking for my Triple B Black and Gold player of the game, Najee Harris. Just on his toughness, running people over, and they could have fed him the ball a little bit more to get 100. Now, I want to see him get 100. He hasn't broke 100 yet this year. And if it wasn't for him, it would have been Pat Fryermuth. Definitely Pat Fryermuth. And I don't know who the hell's calling me during a Steelers show. So quit calling me. Decline. Hey, I'm doing a podcast, people. Scotty DeGaster. They got a group on defense now built with corners and get an O-line help. No, they just need a tackle. A tackle right now. Or if they could get a guard and a tackle. They just need some good quality players. Some good big tackle for sure. But we won't know until the draft comes, because now we don't know, because we winning these games puts us down. I think it takes us up to 7% making it the playoffs, and we only know smash mouth on Sunday. Yeah, of course. It's going to be a smash mouth football game. Yep. Hi, Trisha. How you doing? Thanks for tuning into the Triple B Black and Gold. Move Green to guard. I don't know, Booth. I think he's Kendrick Green is, I think, a little undersized, and he's just a backup. I think last year when he was the center and I don't know. Steele says, shore up that left side of the line and shut down cornerback. Trisha says, hey. Yeah, definitely need a shut down cornerback. I do like Cam Sutton's play, but we still need another cornerback on the other side. I think we need a defensive lineman. But if we get Lear back to where he needs to be, we'll see. Green sucks and has short arms. He's like a T-Rex, I guess. Yeah, he's not that good. He's backup. And he's not worth paying him. And they need Alan Faneca type, DeCastro type guards. They got to learn how to pull, and they got to learn how to do some screenplays, which they don't even do. I haven't seen a good screenplay this year from the Pittsburgh Steelers, which I haven't seen. Lately, I've been seeing a lot of stuff that's actually been very good. I can't bitch about everything. We got a 2-game winning streak going, so I can't bitch about that. It's not pretty, but it's still a win. So I'll take it. I'll take a win over pretty any day. Yep, a D lineman to help Hayward. Yeah, I don't know how many more years Hayward got, Scott. He is like 34, 35 years. He's 34 years old. So, but like I said, I will be reviewing the hated Baltimore Ravens against the Steelers Friday night at 8:00. Hopefully everybody tunes in. I appreciate everybody for tuning in tonight to the Triple B Black and Gold Dynasty show, where we talked Steelers victory over the Atlanta Falcons. Steele says the offense is still disjointed, isn't smooth. Oh, I agree with that. I totally agree with that. Yep, Scotty says quit passing before the sticks. Our defense is and our offense, both of them. Second half performances on both sides have been terrible. Shane says the Dirty Birds are coming. Go Steelers, Benjamin says. Thank you, Scotty. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. I appreciate it. You can catch the Triple B experience if you haven't. We have so many shows. I think I'm like 2 shows away from 200 videos. That's right. 200 videos on my YouTube channel with the Steelers Talk, which we're doing right now with the Triple B Black and Gold. Unscripted, where we're doing pulp culture. We haven't done it in a while. My co-hosts are, they got some other stuff. Hopefully we can get back to that before the end of the year to do our year-round pulp culture awards. I'm ready for that. I'm ready to get some interviews. Next year, I got a lot of ideas. And honestly, too, I want to get, thanks, Boothie. I want to get the boys from last week. I got to get you guys in. I got to get, we can do a breakup with Steele and Booth and the Javicki boys. And if I can get Burns on the show, he's been ducking me. He's afraid. I'm calling him out on social media. And then get everybody, we can talk Steeler football. And that'll be a great, good show. And I want to get those guys on here because I told them I would. And just trying to find Burns is like trying to find the fucking Loch Ness Monster because he's ducking me. It's been weeks now. I've been promising him on here, and he's been ducking me. But anyway, I appreciate everybody for tuning in. I'm going to get this show out on Spotify. I downloaded it out on Spotify. You can check it out on audio, and you can go back and listen to it if you just tuned in. Gotta love you. Gonna drink a shot with Booterball. Your Triple B Black and Gold Dynasty show is sponsored by Alley Cat Beverage in Clymer, Pennsylvania. To get your holiday cheer, go out and get a case of beer or a keg. Diesel and Booterball. They do deliver. And also Bob's Pizza, where you can get a Wapaho and 5 slices of pizza and a root beer under $12. You can't beat that deal anywhere in town. We should do another draft special after. Yeah, whatever you want to do, Still. I got all season long, brother. But I do want to get you guys on to talk some football. I got to get you guys, you know what I mean? And I got to get all your stuff, and I got to write the script out, and we can do all that. We'll be good to go. So, yeah, definitely a draft. Mock draft. I could get into that. So, okay, everybody, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. And please hit like and subscribe to the Triple B Experience, where you can catch this show and all my other stuff, because I try to do a lot more to keep everybody entertained, because that's what I love to do anymore. So, okay, people, I'll see you guys Friday. We will be talking about the fucking Ravens getting their ass beat by the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's the only way to be. And we can be 6-7. I know it's rough. It's been a rough year, but beating the Ravens is like a Super Bowl too. So here we go. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Thank you. Hit like, subscribe, and I will see you Friday night at 8 o'clock when we talk Steelers Ravens. Later, everybody.